Hey there! Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show. What do you got going on your grow? Let me know about that in the comments. And speaking of the comments, let's take some comments. Come on over. Okay, let's see what we got going here. First up, Two Drunk God says, Bob, you have more hairstyles than a woman, LOL. Midlife crisis, perhaps? Perhaps, but let me say this. In my experience, when people have midlife crises, they never know. So yes, I could be going through a midlife crisis and I would not be aware of it, but the hair probably has nothing to do with it. The situation with the hair is that my daughter, Chrissy, is a hairstylist, and my head is kind of like her, her laboratory. She's experimenting with stuff, just messing around, so I don't mind. She likes it. Good enough. So yes, possibly having a midlife crisis. Hair probably has nothing to do with it. Next up, let's see, what? Can't? Oh. Conan Cordray, how you doing, man? Conan Cordray says, what does he say here? Great job, Bob. I believe that's the first slurry test I've seen on the show. No. We did one before. Scott was on the show, and we did a whole series with him. I was just looking back at these videos. I'll put a link to those videos in the description, but good Lord, we did some good stuff back then. He was very informative. We did a slurry test. We talked about flushing. We talked about pH. It was some good videos, so I encourage you to watch those if you haven't, and also I think I may try to get into those videos myself and kind of mine some content from theirs to make some more focused little onesie-twosie videos out of that whole long series so that we can make some useful content out of that. So that's that. Let's see what else we got going here. Roast beef. Roast beef says, now this is in regard to the episode we just did about the slurry test, what I was just talking about. And he said, sometimes you get a hot spot in the soil. Keep in mind that because sometimes you'll be like, okay, my slurry was 400 and now it's 650. Before you freak out, take another slurry from a different spot. Bob, have a good holiday. This was the holidays when he said this. Thanks, roast beef. Now, that is a good point about the numbers and about redoing the slurry test about the hot spots. But I think the biggest thing that I got from that was don't freak out, which dovetails well with some advice that Douglas Adams had. Now, his advice was for intergalactic travelers, but he said don't panic. Don't panic is good advice, because a lot of times with this stuff, you feel like, oh my God, what's going on here? I got to fix this. And you do have to fix it if something's going wrong, but it's best to just take a little slow. Let me show you something that Bill Burns said. Now this is good advice as far as the don't freak out thing and the don't panic, but it's also just good general advice about doing slurry tests. Let me read this to you. It is important to perform regular slurry readings to get a complete picture of what's happening in the root zone. A single test will give us a snapshot, but it doesn't give us the entire story. Perform tests the same way every time, including type of water, planting medium, water amounts, TDS ppm scale, time to wait before measuring, etc. Once you have your results, you should graph them for each container so you can see what is happening over time. Is the general trend for media pH increasing or decreasing? Is ppm fluctuating or going up? Be careful about overreacting to particular measurements. For instance, ppm levels will fluctuate, but you should stay near a range. Soil pH levels are also okay to fluctuate, but should stay in the 6.2 to 6.8 pH range for optimal uptake, depending on your meter scale. The slurry should fall somewhere between the range on the chart below. I shoot for 300 to 500, EC 700. Again, don't overreact. And that's what I wanted to say, because we were talking about the show the other day. I wanted to kind of reiterate that. And also, I saw that from Bill. I thought that was some good stuff. So there's that. There was one other comment. 7. He says, hey, Bob, are you still planning on doing a series covering IPM? It's that time of year. It is that time of year. And yes, we are. I'm trying to get together with Christopher from downstairs to do that for you. And he's a little busy because they're a little short-staffed down there, so people taking vacations, that sort of thing, I think. But I think we'll get to that definitely this week. So that's the show for today. Also, we'll try to get Scott in here to answer some questions. Scott Ostrander from Nectar for the Gods. So if you got questions in general about growing with Nectar for the Gods, get those in the comments, and we'll get them answered for you. I love you. That's the Monday show. It's the Monday show. It's the Monday show. 'Cause it's Monday, and we're having a show. See you tomorrow. It'll be fun.